Coach Gerry Glasco here. He's going to give a quick opening statement, and then if you all have questions, either signal to me in the comments that you have questions or give the raise your hand, and then I'll facilitate it from there. So, Coach.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate y'all the coverage that you've given us, and appreciate the opportunity to speak to you this morning. Yeah, we're just excited about the program at Texas Tech, and it's been a whirlwind month. We jumped in, tried to identify what we needed to do to make our program a top 20 team, and ultimately a team that can get to the World Series next year. And we started recruiting shortly after I got the job. Within 24 hours, we're making phone calls and trying to put together the staff. And we were able to build the roster to, we feel like we've added speed. We feel like we've added power. We feel like we've added defense. We feel like we've got a great freshman class coming in. Bailey Lindemuth, Haley Toney, Sam Lincoln, Cassie Johnson. Those are all kids that we think can play immediately. Huffman, Schiller. I mean, there's some really good kids in that 7-kid freshman class coming in that Coach Snyder had recruited to Tech. So that was immediately the first thing that we did, was try to make sure we held on to those 7 incoming freshmen to build our program around over the next few years. And then once we made contact with those kids, then we started looking at what we need to complete the roster, and we needed middle infielders. We needed offense. We needed speed. We needed a lot of things, and then we needed pitching, obviously, a veteran pitching. And if you go back to last year, the ERA in the Big 12 was over 9, and we knew we had to immediately get some proven veteran pitchers. And so we started there, and I think that we've had 10 kids come onto campus. We recruited 9. I think that's very significant because when I first started considering taking the Texas Tech job, I called several people that, were familiar with the Texas Tech program and the Big 12 and travel ball coaches. And the one thing I heard consistently was, can you recruit to Lubbock? And, can you recruit kids to Lubbock, Texas? And that was like kind of an unknown to me, because I think of myself as a really good recruiter. I feel like I've proven that I can recruit, but there's some doubt there. But I think that most significant thing in my mind today is we've had 10 kids come to campus. We've committed 9 of those 10 kids. And of course, we started with Maya Davis and Alana Johnson, and the first wave of kids, Katie Lott from Oklahoma State, Lauren Allred. And then we committed a group, I think, of 6 there. Then we added Michaela Garcia, and I can't remember all the order, but of course we ended this week with the opportunity to have Najri on campus and show Naja around Lubbock, spend time with her and her parents. And she's handled her recruitment just phenomenal. They've taken their time. They really had a business-like approach to it early on. And then we did it out to who they identified what they were looking for in the recruitment process. And then we were able to get her on campus. And then the last 3 days has just been about letting her get familiar with Lubbock, seeing if she thought it was a place that she could see herself playing at. Could you see herself in this town? Could you see herself in our uniform? Could you see herself on our field? Could she visualize herself as a Texas Tech player? And then quickly trying to build that relationship on a personal level with her, enough that she could gain the confidence to come and play for us and let us be a part of her last 2 years. So it's kind of where we're at. We feel like we've completed the vast majority of we may add a player or 2 for depth. Right now, I think we've got 19 kids on the roster for the fall. I would love to stop right there. The catching depth is always a concern. There's maybe a pinch runner. We could add a little speed. If you got the opportunity to get an All-American type hitter, that would be something we'd have to consider. But we feel like we're in great shape right now. And just the excitement of the Kennedy signing. It's captivated America, it seems like, with all the text and overload of calls and text and emails that I've gotten in the last 24 hours. But I've been super excited for the last 2 weeks. I'm excited about Katie Lott and Alana Johnson and the kids that we got from the very beginning. So I'm really, really excited as a coach about the entire team that we put together. I feel like it's going to be a really great group of kids. They're all really smart. Like I think I figured up last night, it was 6 kids that had over a 3.5 GPA. And there's several in that 3.9 and 4.0. Katie Lott's the Elite 90 winner at the World Series, an outstanding academic student athlete. So those are the things that excite me. Najee is a special player, a special person, is what I found out. I knew she was a special player during this recruiting process. I found out just how special and incredible of person that she is, and her family. Just really impressive. So we're excited, we're thrilled, and I'll turn it over to questions from here.
No, Jana, you had a question?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Coach. My name's Jana Bartle. I'm with The Athletic. I was just wondering if you could give us some more details about the conversations you had with Nija when she was visiting Texas Tech, and the conversations with her family. What were they looking for, and what did you tell them?
Yeah, it's been a really fun recruiting challenge, and it has been very challenging. I thought it was extremely challenging, the recruitment, because it was different than any recruitment I'd ever been involved with. But I understand exactly why the family did it the way they did it. And I thought it was important to have intuition as to why they were doing what they were doing when they did it. And so, like, my first call to Naja was, Coach, I know who you are. I've heard about you, but I want you to call my manager and work through with my manager first. And then if later on, if I want to talk to you and consider your program, I'll get back with you, or we'll visit personally later. And I think she had a whole lot of stuff going on with USA softball. She had a lot of stuff going on, and obviously a player of her magnitude, it could quickly turn into a circus with thousands of coaches calling her and texting her. And the family had to protect her from that, which I thought was interesting, and I thought very, different than what we're used to working with, but I thought it was very important. So immediately I went and did exactly what I was told. I went through the process the way they asked me to. And then when it was time to get to know the family, we had to build that relationship quickly. And I just fell in love with her family, her mom and dad, and her, just really people that I could identify with. They wanted to take the mom and dad wanted to take care of their daughter. They want their daughter to be taken care of. They want to be able to trust the coach and the coaching staff that they put her with. I think that's more important than winning games, but winning games is extremely important to them. They obviously they want to win a World Series. We all do, right? But at the end of the day, they had to know that their baby, it's their baby, and they'll be taken care of. And I think I was able to relate to that, and as I went through the thing, I like, as a human being, I had a daughter that was very similar to Naja. Naja wants to hit. It's very important to Naja that she gets the opportunity to swing the bat. I totally got that because of my own relationship with my daughter and my late daughter, Gerry Ann. And then they want someone to take care of their daughter. I get that. And then, as I went through the process, it's like it become a challenge to me. I can't do anything to help my own daughter anymore. I lost my daughter, but I can do something to help Naja, and I can do something to help Naja be in a position when her career's over, she can be set, and we're gonna we're going to take that as a challenge and hope that we can accomplish that. And I hope that I think it played a role in the whole recruiting process, because I've had people ask me, like, why do you think she chose tech? Why did she choose tech? And it wasn't about money. There was money involved, a lot of money, right? I hear, I don't know the numbers, as a coach, we're not involved in the actual none of the NIL stuff involves the coaching staff or the coach. And you hear rumors, and like, I've read stuff in the paper that I don't have a clue. It shocked me when I saw the numbers I'm seeing in the paper. But what I do know is that it wasn't about money, because if it was money, it would have been over a real long time ago. It would have been simple. I think that at the end of the day, it was a number of things that the family looked for. I think they were looking for security for their daughter. They were looking for safety. The mom made the comment in the visit a couple of times, like, I feel safe here. I feel safe in your office. I feel safe on your campus. She used the word safe several times. And I think that's what they were looking for, a place that they felt safe and they felt like their daughter would be secure.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Mhm.
All right, we'll go to Nathan.
Hey, Gerry. I think kind of during your intro presser, you talked about some of the talk of Kirby and some of the other people bringing you in, discussion of the support you were going to get, not just from within the department, but outside of it through the Matador Club, the NIL aspect of it. And this, like you said, this is a kind of a shockwave move, somebody of Nigel's caliber coming to Tech. Do you see this as kind of maybe those expectations and promises kind of being fulfilled of, we're not just going to talk about becoming a power here at Tech and in the new Big 12, but we're actually going to go out and do something to make that happen?
Yeah, I felt like at Louisiana I had a top 10 team coming back. We were 13 seed in the regional, and we didn't lose. Our team was intact. We didn't lose anything to the portal. All of our starting players were coming back. I knew we had a really, really good team. And so when the opportunity come to move to Tech and get into a Power 5 program, I thought it was really important that we made a loud statement right off the bat, like, hey, this is new. This is Texas Tech now. This is Gerry Glasco at Texas Tech. This is Texas Tech with Gerry Glasco. And I thought it was really important that we moved quick and we made a loud statement, because we don't want to just be good for 1 year or 2 years. We want to lay the groundwork for Texas Tech to be good for a lot of years. And during the process of interviewing for the job, I learned of the resources at Texas Tech, and it's just amazing, all the different aspects of Texas Tech. And, just in the recruitment of Naja, I asked, can we get the bushes trimmed at the field? Can we get all the flowers and all the plants and the landscaping all redone for this visit? And we had like 3 days, and they did it. And you ask, hey, I want this emblem on the scoreboard. Can we have it lit up and do that? And I have a facility person come out and do it immediately. Can I get the infield lined? It's July. Everybody's on vacation. Can I get the infield lined and make it look like we're playing a game today? And it was done immediately. She's interested in social media presence and how to build her brand. Can we put together a meeting? And resource after resource after resource, people has jumped up. And this is a time of year when college campuses are shut down. And it was absolutely amazing and inspiring to me to see how the athletic department, the entire athletic department jumped in to help us recruit, and they realized the magnitude of a player that's USA Softball Player of the Year, and it's a Honda Award winner. They understood that. The whole community did. It was really inspiring to see the effort that went into the 3-day visit. And I think at the end of the day, the family felt that, the family realized that. The campus at Texas Tech is gorgeous. I had never been there. I had no idea. And, you hear like, it's going to be hard to recruit to Lubbock. And so the people paint this image when you get on campus, like Notre Dame is a gorgeous campus. It's a beautiful campus. I guess it's the prettiest campus I feel like I've been on. when you walk onto the Texas Tech campus, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's clean. Everything's spotless. There's no trash anywhere. You don't see a bottle anywhere. You don't see paper anywhere on the ground. And when you walk into offices, everything's spotless. So a lot of it's a really special little place. It's kind of like a secret. I feel like, and what I found in getting in these 10 recruits, when they get on campus, they're all like shocked. Like, how have I never heard of this? And it just clicked. I mean, you could feel it from the minute when Naja first got there. I think there was a lot of skepticism, like, I'm not going to like this place. This is a waste of my time, maybe. And then the minute she walked on campus and saw the beauty of the campus, felt the love of all the people on the campus, things just clicked, and it was just a fantastic 3 days with a fantastic family and a fantastic young lady, and we got the result that we got. Thank goodness.
All right, we'll go to Cole next.
Coach, I'd imagine this year's class stacks up about as good as any one that you've had in your career. How would you compare this year's to some of those you had at Louisiana and before that?
You know, the year we got Megan Kleist, I felt like we had the number one. I think that extra innings or somebody ranked us second or third, maybe Justin at Justin's World, but I felt like we got, that class had Megan Kleist in it and maybe Carly Heath. I can't remember the exact details. We lived on the transfer portal in my early years at Louisiana. We added Caitlin Alderink from A&M and Sarah Hudak from A&M, Sierra Bryant from Georgia, Juice Mills from Georgia. We really, Keely Milligan, like, there was just some great players come from the SEC to Louisiana and helped me rebuild that, helped our staff rebuild that. And then, that was a phenomenal recruiting class. And I thought it was the best in the country, but I do remember we weren't ranked number one. And I think that this class is there's no way you wouldn't rank it number one in the country this summer. It's going to be the best incoming class of any in a portal class. When you talk about high school rankings or portal rankings, this class is good. Like, that's how good it is. Like, we're really fortunate. We're really lucky that all these great athletes chose to come to us and play. And I think that from the very beginning, I said, we can't go. Naja was going to go to Japan. And so when she went to Japan, I texted her and I said, look, you're going to Oklahoma for 5 days and you're going to go to Japan. I'm not going to text you. I'm not going to bother you. I want you to be a 21-year-old athlete enjoying pitching for the USA and focus on USA softball. And I'm going to leave you alone and you can worry about business when you get back home. And I didn't bother her. I never texted her, maybe 1 or 2 times the whole visit, just good luck. But I never called or anything. I just let her have that private space. And I felt like that's what she was wanting. And I think now at the end of the day, it's definitely what she was wanting. I was learning about her. I had, coaches on USA like, hey, what's your perception of her personality? What's your perception of what she's looking for? What do you think I need to show her when she comes on campus? I tried to use things that I learned from the coaches that were on that trip and in that recruiting camp, in the training camp in Oklahoma City before the Japan games. I tried to learn things, but I tried to leave her alone and give her space. And I thought all that played into this, and I thought early on, I have to sign some really good players or you have no chance at getting Naja. I have to be able to sit down with her on the first day she's on campus and say, look, this is our lineup. This will be our leadoff. This will be a 2-hole. This will be a 3-hole. This will be the 2 kids competing at shortstop. This will be the 3 kids or 4 kids competing for center field and left field. And so these will be the catchers. I thought we had to have the entire roster in place before she got on campus. And it really played into my hand, I think, when she wanted to take her time and she wasn't in a hurry. She was wanting to do her due diligence. She wanted to research everything. Very thorough, very thought out recruitment process that she laid out. And that gave me time to build the roster to the point that she could get excited about it when she saw it on paper.
Okay, we'll go to Kaylor. Is that how, am I saying it right?
Hi, Coach. Kaylor Smith from ABC in Midland. I have just a couple here. Starting off, you talking about the recruiting class. We're talking about how the nation's kind of been put on alert by this move because this was an unexpected move by the national perspective. Do you feel that? Do you feel like the nation has now been put on alert to Texas Tech softball?
I hope so. I think when I took the job, it was like a challenge. I said, this is a chance for me to build my own program, my own legacy. Because when I went to Louisiana, they'd had, Yvette Gerard, a great coach there. They had Michael Lotief, a great coach there. And the program was really good. And it really was, I had to maintain what they had. And then when I had the opportunity to go to Texas Tech, it's a program that, had, they'd been good a few short times, Shannon Hayes did a great job there in 2012, 2013, had it going the right direction. And I think Craig did a great job with the hitters last year, and he had a great recruiting class coming. So he kind of had laid the groundwork and done a great job building it to where I could come in and really take it and, put my name on it and put my stamp on it. And I think that my hope is that my challenge is that I want to make it come true. I want to accept the challenge of making this a national program that's going to be good for a long time, not just for one season or 2 seasons. I want it to be a program that's going to be in that national conversation of softball for the next couple of decades, and then I'm not going to last 2 decades, but I would love to lay the groundwork and a foundation that will hold up for a long time. And you always have constant changes in sports, with all the legislation stuff going. You don't know what the future holds. It looks completely different now to me than it did 8 years ago when I took a job at Louisiana. The nature of softball and the boundaries of how you can be successful has changed a lot for mid-majors and for small colleges. And we don't know what's going to happen. It's a time of evolving, but my goal and my challenge is to lay a groundwork at Texas Tech that lasts way beyond when I'm done.
And a follow-up to that, you talked a little bit about the groundwork of softball. This is a deal unlike one we've ever seen in the sport. Do you think this changes the landscape going forward in the recruiting front?
Yeah, I think that the whole NIL perspective has changed college sports in general, not just softball, but I think it's an opportunity for a female athlete to be thought of in a different way and a perspective of what's available and what's possible for a young female athlete. I had a former, one of the greatest players, I'm not going to say her name, but one of the greatest players has played in the last 2 decades. She won national championships. And she texted me this morning and said, Coach, how did this happen? And she said at the end, she said, I was born 10 years too soon. I'm still paying off a college loan. She's still paying off a college loan. And this player today would be worth she would be worth a lot of money per season. And so that's the good part. Like, there's some great things happening. There's also things that if you're a longtime softball coach or a longtime softball fan, if you're a longtime college fan, like we're all concerned about, the fringe areas of what NIL is going to cause. And, as a coach, how do I get my locker room? How do I get my locker room to play when you got, different levels of NIL salary and different, and we'll handle that. And, I had somebody ask me, said, what are you going to do when your players make more money than you do? And I said, well, Monica Abbott was making a lot more than me, and we won that championship. And Kat Osterman was making a lot more money than I was, and we won the championship. So in that sense, I think I've got experience with how to handle the situation. And there's going to be all kinds of challenges to this thing that it's because it's unique and it's new. So I don't have all the answers. I just know we got to really be constantly thinking, constantly learning, constantly watching and being careful in our every move that we make. But I think that for a female athlete, it's got to be exciting when you see a player like Najee Kennedy break open. Like, it's a groundbreaking area now for a young female athlete.
And my last one was, do you feel like you found your Saturday starter? And if not, where are you looking and what are you looking for?
I think I've got a great pitching staff right now. We've got 5 pitchers. We're really excited. My daughter was in Indianapolis this morning, sent me video. She's watching, one of our incoming freshmen left-handed pitchers on one field, and right next to it, she's able to watch both girls at the same time. And then we think all 3 of the incoming freshman pitchers, Brenda Gonzalez, Sam Lincoln, and Bailey Lindemuth, we think they can all be really good. Of course, Bailey Lindemuth, she reminds me of Megan Gibson. She can hit, she can run, she can really play. She can play third, she can play second, she can play the outfield. She's one of the top hitters in the country, and she can pitch, and she's a competitor. So we're really excited about those 3. And then Chloe Riaceto, the last 2 months of the college season just blew me away with her growth and maturity and how much she improved for us at Louisiana. And so I was just thrilled when she wanted to follow me to Texas Tech. I was absolutely thrilled that we could add a left-handed pitcher right off the bat with the kind of toughness, mental toughness that she had, and showed me the last half of that season in 2024. So I think that we're going to be I thought we had a really good team before we got Najee. I thought we were definitely top 25, maybe even top 15 if Chloe matures and continues to improve in the next 12 months like she has in the last 12. So I was excited before, and now I'm just over the top excited. But I feel like our staff is complete. I don't feel like we need to add anything else. I feel like we're going to be very competitive.
Thank you, Coach.
To Eric Lopez.
Eric Lopez, D1 softball coach. Good to catch up with you. You just mentioned it. You've coached Monica Abbott in the pro level and won a championship. You coached, obviously, Kat Osterman. How much will that help you, that experience, in coaching Najee and getting to relate to her, and probably helped you in this process relate to her as a great player herself, having been around a Kat Osterman and Monica Abbott? And do you see some similarities there?
There's greatness with all those pitchers that we're talking about and the different areas of greatness, and I'm the luckiest coach in the world as far as the pro league. I was able to coach the Pride in 2014. And let's just tell the truth. I was able to write the lineup for the Pride. You don't coach. I had Natasha Watley, Kate, there's just so many. Danielle Laurie was on that team. Jordan Taylor. I could go on and on. Caitlin Lowe, Watley. I mean, I'm a young rookie coach at that level, and I wrote the lineup every day. And they coached me more than I coached them, if you were really telling the truth. But I was able to learn from it and gain experience from it. And of course, Kat that year went 18-0 and had a 0.44 ERA. If you go through the history of the National Pro Fast Pitch, that was her greatest season, I think. And to this day, I mean, I talked to her several times when in the process of recruiting Najee. I talked on the phone with Kat several times, and all that definitely helps you. Being around Jolene Henderson, I've talked to her a couple times this summer. I had her in 2019 when we won the championship, and Jalen Ford, a two-way player, Megan Good, a two-way pitcher hitter. I think all that experience has to help you, and hopefully, I can use that experience to max out that experience and max out the benefits I can get from that, so I can do a better job with Najee. But, at the end of the day, like, we got to go to work this fall, and we got to get on the field. And we got to really roll our arm sleeves up and work on every aspect of the game. And hopefully the experience does help us.
Go to Shelby.
Hi, Coach. Shelby Rhodes, KCBD Sports. You mentioned that you really wanted to have that roster built for Kennedy, and she mentioned to ESPN that her biggest factor besides NIL was the fact that so many players had followed you within those first few days. So what were those initial conversations with those few athletes that helped bring them over so quickly?
Yeah, you build a relationship with your players as a coach that hopefully you build a relationship that they respect you, that they like you, and they want to go to war for you. Now, you can't be a coach, and no coach is perfect. No coach can do that with every player on your roster. I think the greatest coaches, maybe we connect with 75% of our kids, their kids. I hope I connect with 75% of my kids. I know there's times when I fall short of that, and I may only connect with 60% or 50%. And there's other times when you just really connect with a team. And I think this last team we had at Louisiana, we were 13 seed in the regional. Nobody went on the portal at the end of the year except one player. It was a team that was very well connected. And I think that, it's kind of it's just, there was a lot of admiration, a lot of respect that I had for all of them as players. And I think some of them had that same type of respect for me, I hope. And there's players like Sam Landry is like a daughter to my wife and I. I mean, nobody could be, I've never had a player I'm more connected with than Sam Landry. But I didn't feel like that. Like when I left Louisiana, I talked to her about, go into the Raging Cajun Hall of Fame. Like, stay here, put your name in the Hall of Fame. You'll be, and it's like, well, what, what's important about that? Well, when you bring your granddaughter back, when you bring your daughter back. And I think you ought to give great consideration to that. At the same time, end of the day, she chose to go on the portal, and she was able to go to Oklahoma, and she got the opportunity to go play for a great coach, Jen Rocha, the pitching coach, and of course, Coach Gasso and the Gasso family. She's going to play for great coaches there. And there was no lack of respect for me. I absolutely adore Sam Landry, but I don't think she felt like Texas Tech was the right fit for her. And I think she found what she was looking for. I think during the interview process, they asked me that question, like, do you think kids will follow you? And I said, I don't know if anybody will follow me except Maya Davis. I think Maya Davis would have went to Alaska with me. And I say that all the time. Like, if you put me in Anchorage, Alaska, Maya Davis is going to go with me. That's just the relationship she and I have. She's going to go to war for me. She's going to run into walls for me, and I'm going to go to war for her. And we just always had that since she was like 8th grade, 9th grade. I don't know how to even explain it. We had that connection. And then, once I left, when I went in, I called each kid and I talked to them individually. I just said, I'm going to Texas Tech. There'll be people from Louisiana. Dr. Maggard had already called most of them before I got a chance to call them, because the press actually broke that I'd taken the job before I took the job. So it was really a weird kind of the dynamics of how it all went down at the end due to, it was reported on, not really press, but on Facebook, that I'd taken a job, and it caused a lot of chaos. And I think that was one of the reasons the kids quickly went on the portal. And then when they reached out to me, the ones that went on the portal, I just, I said, look, we'll just talk about it and we'll think about it. And if you feel like it's the right fit, we'll make it happen. And the first thing you do is come to campus. So we got them at campus as quick as we could. Let them look at it. And I feel like we got some really good players there. At the same time, that's tough, because I love Allie Habits. I feel like she's a phenomenal coach. There's no doubt in my mind, she's the best possible coach to have been hired at University of Louisiana. And I want to see that 89 series streak. I want to see that extend. I want to see that conference winning streak extend. I want to see that program go ahead and thrive. So it's all kind of bittersweet, kind of tough, but it basically comes down to relationships and where the players want to be, where they want to be at, who they want to help, who they want to play for, and maybe just simply where they're most comfortable. And so I think if you're a college coach, it's pretty easy to understand where someone's played for you for 2 years, someone that they know that you watched them play in travel ball for 2 years, and just at the end of the day, when they think about it, they've been with a coach in this form of recruiting and playing for 4 or 5 years. They don't want to change. And obviously they didn't want to change at the end of the year. They would have went on the portal, right? So they didn't go on the portal. And then I went on the portal. Basically is what happened. I mean, a coach goes on the portal when he leaves. It's the same thing. And they wanted to stay with that relationship. And I'm glad they did. I'm thrilled we got them. They're all special kids, every single one of them. We just got we got a new challenge in front of us. So I think that's kind of my take without thinking about it in depth. And I feel like that, it'll in time, I know it's going to pay off for us. I also think Louisiana's got a phenomenal coach in Allison Habits, and she'll get her players in there, and hopefully that program will continue to thrive.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, last question from Ty.
Coach Ty Kaplan from the Daily Toreador. Obviously, we know how America reacted to the signing. Can you kind of talk about how your players in the program already reacted to it?
Everybody's super excited. Like everybody is through the moon, excited. And Demi Elders come out and said, "Coach, let me show her around. I want to show her around. I'll have her. We'll get her. You let me show her around." And she wanted to take her around campus. And the 2 freshmen, all Big 12, Reagan Jennings and Logan Hallman. They were at the field and they wanted to meet her. Everybody wanted to meet Naja. And so that's a neat thing, and I don't know, the 7 incoming freshmen, like they've all been blowing my phone up. They're all excited. So it's a huge excitement to know the level of play, the potential of this next team. Now we can kind of, the hard part's done. Now we can relax and enjoy getting ready for fall. And then we go back to work, and it's a good time to reflect on it. And I think everyone's through the moon excited, from the trainer to the strength coach to the mental health coach to the physicians that work with the program. Everyone involved with Texas Tech softball is extremely excited, and obviously the players are all excited.